How will Trump's base react to a change to one of his most famous campaign promises? With me now are CNN political commentator Andre Bauer, Democratic Representative Debbie Dingell of Michigan, CNN political commentators Bakari Sellers and Alice Stewart. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Andre, what do you think? How is the base going to react to this?
I think as adults and moving the country forward, it's the best thing. It's kind of like this recount. It's just not where we want to go as a country. We're in a place where there's a lot of divisiveness, and we need to heal as a country. And moving forward, the best thing for all of us is kind of like when Ford pardoned Nixon. It is better for the country to move forward. She did break, well, what we think could have been several laws, but it doesn't help anything moving forward.
Alice, what's your take? I mean, we were all adults, presumably, during the campaign as well.
Well, clearly, at a lot of his rallies, you heard a lot of his supporters say, lock her up, lock her up. But now, as he is president-elect and we've got short time for him to get into office, there are much bigger priorities for him to focus on, such as filling a huge cabinet, filling these positions, laying out his priorities for the first 100 days, and that's where he's going to focus. And I think the fact that he came right out of the gate and said he wants to move forward, look ahead, and allow Hillary Clinton.
But isn't this what everybody hates about politics, that they say what they want to say during the campaign, and then once they get in office, they say never mind?
It was nonsense then. It was nonsense then. It's nonsense now. As President of the United States, you do not have the authority to single-handedly launch investigations and lock up your political rivals. I think it was absurd when he said it then. It's absurd for anyone to believe that he can do that now as President of the United States. We don't live in some dictatorship. But even further, briefly, I think that you had two people who were leading these chants. Governor Chris Christie was leading the lock her up chant and find her guilty at the Republican National Convention. And Michael Flynn did it day in and day out on the campaign trail. We now know that Michael Flynn was actually running illegal internet connections when he was a high-ranking intelligence officer. So I say, lock them up.
Let's ask you, Congresswoman, because you're going to have to be dealing with him in the Congress. Does this actually give you some hope that maybe there is room to work together and move on?
Look, I'm always somebody that wants to work with everybody because I think the American people need us to work together, and that's the first thing we have to do. I thought it was campaign rhetoric at the time. We had the FBI director not once but twice say that there's nothing there. A prosecutor wouldn't have a case. We do. It angered me during the campaign, but we do need to move on. And we'll have to see what kind of president he's going to be.
Okay, so apparently Twitter works at Mar-a-Lago because the president-elect is there this holiday weekend tweeting up a storm this morning as we speak. And we just show one of his tweets. This is about the recount in Wisconsin. Hillary Clinton conceded the election when she called me just prior to the victory speech and after the results were in. Nothing will change. Congresswoman, doesn't he have a point? I mean, isn't this exactly what Democrats were warning Donald Trump not to do?
Several things. First of all, George Bush conceded back in 2000, and we saw the direction that the election changed. We have a free country. People are able to do what they're going to do. I don't think in the end that anything is going to change from where we are. The fact that it is Michigan has paper ballots, but it is the recount process is part of who we are as a democracy. If it gives people more confidence that what happened, then we need to let it move forward. And it was not the Clinton campaign that moved this forward. It was the Green Party that
But the Clinton campaign is now on board.
But how can they not be on board once the recount is going to happen to make sure that it is going to happen? I think we're going to follow an orderly process. I don't think it's going to change anything, and most people are
Call me a cynic, Andre, but could this possibly Twitter storm this morning and the president-elect really latching on to this be a way to keep the Republican base energized at a time where, you know, he's saying, I'm not going to lock up Hillary Clinton, and oh, by the way, I might put Mitt Romney in as my Secretary of State?
Well, I think he's passionate the fact that he was chastised for saying, hey, I may question it if I think there are irregularities in the process. And now the very people that chastised him and said, no, we're going to accept the election, aren't accepting it. So it shows hypocrisy at the highest level. And I think he's aggravated about it, which he has every right to be.
Alice, you wanted to jump in?
And I think clearly if the Clinton campaign had listened to Congresswoman Dingell from the very beginning, she would have spent more time in Michigan, and we'd probably be in a different situation today because she saw that there were problems there a long time
I was going to give you a shout out, but it's better coming from a Republican.
But
she did say that.
The reality is, look, the votes are in, the voters have spoken. Donald Trump won 306 electoral votes. That is the key here. It doesn't matter what's happening in these 3 states. He won 9 of 13 battleground states, 30 of 50 states. He is the clear winner in this case. And if there were any problems in these 3 states, I guarantee you the Secretary of State would be the first one to reach.
Bakari, I want to turn to the future of your party, the Democratic Party, and something that's happening this week. Nancy Pelosi is going to face a rather tough battle to continue to be the head of the House Democrats. Do you think she's the right person at this time?
Well, I think right now she is. I think that Nancy Pelosi is, and we were having this conversation in the back, is the most prolific Democratic fundraiser that we have.
But is it about fundraising
well,
now,
I mean,
or is it
that's
about
part of
being
the
in touch with the grassroots?
That's part of the machine, and we have to begin to get in touch with the voters that we've lost. And Democrats right now, instead of focusing on a recount in 3 states, we need to be focusing on Foster Campbell, who's running a United States Senate race down in Louisiana right now, another Senate race that we can pick up. But Democrats, I think that what we're doing is we're overcorrecting. We're saying, oh my God, we need to go out and win white working class voters. And then people are saying, oh my God, we need to become more progressive. And then people are saying, oh my God, we need to give full-throated reasons for persons of color to come out and vote for us. Instead of doing all 3. We have to become a party who does not get static in our thinking or binary, but we do all 3 of them.
And let me ask somebody who actually gets a vote. I do want to say that you were kind of the canary in the coal mine. You were saying before the Democratic primary, you were warning the Hillary Clinton people she could lose, and then you warned that she could lose in the general election in your home state of Michigan. Given the fact that you seem to get the working class voters, do you think that Nancy Pelosi is the person who gets them too?
I'm strongly supporting her because what was just said is absolutely right. We are a disparate party. We are a party of many people. I care deeply about the Midwest right now because I have seen us lose some of those voters. But I have a very complicated district, largest population of Muslims and a large group of liberals too. We can do all 3, and we have to do all 3. You can't just represent one. Nancy Pelosi, as President Obama said this week, has done a good job of bringing a disparate group of people together.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time. Great discussion.